Okay, 2,620 kilometres later, we've arrived at the Truckies reunion at the Transport Hall of Fame in Alice Springs. So let's go meet some people. This is John Jongsma, or they call him Big John, and he's been inducted today. Now, what made you get into it? Like, how long ago was it?
I started doing Adelaide Broken Hill.
Yep.
And then I'd done 15 years in furniture removals in the state.
That's a lot of time lugging lounge suites.
Oh yeah. And I could tell you some funny stories about removing furniture.
I'm amazed you're still standing upright after that long carting furniture.
Yeah,
my goodness.
No. I told this woman I had the TV upside down, like, you know, and I said to her, I said, look, when you put the TV, I said, you have to go back to the shop and buy new colour tubes. I said, because I've had it upside down and all the colours mixed, so instead of getting red onions, you get green, purple. So, and she believed me, she went to the shop and I bought my own truck, because every truck I drove for a boss, I always looked after it. And I thought, well, I'm going to do it for a boss, I'll do it for myself. So I bought a truck and bought one non-transport.
All right.
And I started from there.
And so how many years in the industry?
50 years.
50 years in the transport industry, in the trucking game.
Yeah, and I'm still doing it.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, mate, and congratulations on your induction.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, and thanks for your time. I've just bumped into Ray Scott, and now Ray was inducted last year, and this year they were saying that you've got a little bit more of an involvement in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, well, Liz rang me one night and said, how about being a bit more involved and giving us a bit of a hand? And I said, oh yeah, not a problem in the world. She rang back a couple of hours later and she said, oh, but that's all organised, that's good. Now, oh, by the way, you're on the board. I said, oh, thanks, Liz. We're trying to get a trust, for want of a better term, going.
Yep.
Not to interfere with the running of this, but to run alongside it and to keep a backbone of a bank account, so that when we lose the guiding lights and the real passion that Liz has, that we know that we can always keep this place going.
Hey, I'm with Peter Williams, who's also known as Lizard. I've got to ask how you got the name Lizard.
Oh, well, when I started in the Northern Territory, I think nearly every bloke that carted cattle had a nickname. If you're fat or skinny or you had tattoos all over you or whatever, but when we'd been, driving pretty hard for 2 or 3 days, very tired, my tongue used to hang out of my mouth, so sort of, like I was half dried out sort of thing, and one bloke picked up on it, and that's how Lizard came. So, and I've never been known by anything else.
You know, trucking's in the blood. You're there to stay.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm not going to become a librarian or anything.
Mate, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on your induction.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
I never thought it'd be this bloody good. I didn't.
CEO of the National Road Transport Museum, and you're looking like you're having a busy weekend already. It's a pretty good turnout, yeah?
It is a good turnout. It is always a very hectic weekend. This one, the numbers sort of doubled in the last 2 weeks, so it's kept us on the hop a bit, but we've got through it.
So how many guests do you reckon?
We have 750 registered guests. Quite often there's a few extras that turn up without registering, so I would guess around about 800.
So I was speaking to Ray Scott earlier, and he said that a trust has been established to sort of look into the future of the Hall of Fame. What's the future hold for the Hall of Fame? Because we've got a big one next year too.
We've got a big one. We're expecting around about 10,000 people here next year. But in our forward planning and looking at succession planning as well, we need to ensure that the impetus for it to continue to grow is still there. And we think through the trust that'll give it a financial backbone and carry it through good times and bad well into the future. We're hoping to put another building up in the next couple of years. We've got lots of smaller displays that we want to incorporate, some of the iconic companies around Australia, which at the moment with our Wall of Fame we just look at individuals, not companies. But as you're aware, there's a lot of iconic companies all over Australia. So I guess the visitor experience is what we're looking at trying to enhance within the museum.
Now, you were talking some interesting numbers earlier in terms of how many people visit this museum every year. Now, how many come through the
Around
gates?
about 84,000 is on average for the last 3 years. And we think that'll be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
We're really fortunate that Alice Springs is a destination in its own right. So we get probably 25% of all people that come to Alice Springs. So we're hoping to gradually build that up so that we get everybody that comes to Alice Springs.